paper, it was wrong.
Okay, it's the paper's fault, guys. It's the paper's fault. So yeah, atmospheric scientist, I look at air all day. And I really love watching people's faces as they try and figure that out. Do you? Okay. Yeah. So that's what I do. That is what I do. I look at air. And I'm just stalling a little bit because I've forgotten what the first thing I was going to say. So I'm just going to make you feel really uncomfortable where I edge towards the front of the stage and peer over. So I look at air. Look at her. Yeah, so that was awkward, wasn't it? What's she doing? So the first time I did Great Club was probably about a year ago, and it was a lot easier then because I just started my PhD, and with kind of fresh eyes, everything everyone I worked with did was ridiculous. I think my favourite thing was always the jargon, because I don't know, I mean, how many people here are involved in any way in any kind of science? Yeah, one or two. Yeah, quite a lot of scientists go science. So you'll know in that case that anything you touch is kind of surrounded by this impenetrable thicket of jargon. Then the jargon turns into acronyms, and the acronyms turn into acronyms of acronyms. And you end up in this brilliant place where no one understands what anyone else is saying. Only because we're all scientists. We're all scientists, guys, and we're very clever. And so no one can admit it. And so you end up feeling like you've walked onto the set of some kind of really badly scripted 1950s sci-fi film. And, so I went into the lab on the first day and he said, my supervisor's there going, well, today what we're going to do is we're going to park the CPMS and then hook up the CPC to the SP2. We'll swap the thermal denuders in and out, and then see if we can get the optical probes running. And I was like, yeah, right. The first meeting that I went into, the very first meeting, there was this guy sat there, and he was going, look, I'm having some terrible trouble with my critical orifice. I can't remember what the problem was. I think he had something stuck in it. And I thought, this is brilliant. I was chuckling into my tea, I tell you. And, I looked up, trying to catch someone's eye, and everyone's faces were dead brown. So, okay, and then the suggestions start coming out. There's someone over here. Well, have you tried putting something else in to see if you can dislodge it? Someone over there. Well, have you tried blowing in it? To get the gun count? And another one, well, if that one's not working, have you tried some of the other orifices? The trouble is, though, as I say, I've become jaded, because now if that comes up in a meeting, I go, oh God, that's terrible. Because it turns out, really, it plays havoc with your data. There's nothing funny about a plugged critical orifice at all. This is basically a very long-winded way of telling you that I've recycled all of my jokes. And I didn't need to tell you that, but there's some kind of deep-seated, scientific need in me to give you far more information than you actually really want. So that's where we're at. So I did my master's degree in climate change. Woohoo, climate change. And I love this subject. I love it because everybody has their own opinion on it. It's unlike anything else. Everyone's got an opinion on it. It normally comes from a complete lack of information. And whenever you say something, whenever you come up with any kind of hypothesis, whenever you collect any kind of data or results, there's always a team of people pointing at you, telling you've done it wrong. And you don't get this in any other kind of science in quite the same way. So, when the guy came forwards and he went, behold, I have discovered microwaves, and lo, they can be used to, reheat foodstuffs. There were people thought it was great things, and people didn't. Apparently my granddad used to keep a Geiger counter next to the microwave just in case. But my point is that at no stage during that whole fiasco did 150 oil companies come forwards and say, guys, stop everything. It could be the microwaves. It could be the microwaves. But are you sure my porridge isn't just going through a natural warming phase? Oh my god, I don't think I've ever had that before. Almost round of applause. Yeah, no, we get this all the time. We get this absolutely all the time. And quite often it's politicians, that's the worst bit. It's politicians coming in thinking they know everything. They've never actually looked at the science, they just know what they want to think. And a great example of this at the moment is in Australia. And just to put this in a little bit of context, first off, Australia is a part of the world that's going to be one of the worst hit by climate change. Second off, they seem to be kind of single-handedly holding together all of the climate science in the southern hemisphere. It's quite a task. But somehow the politicians in Australia for years have been kind of stoically ignoring the, weather warming and the droughts and the dying coral reefs. And it's quite impressive actually. But recently they've made a bit of a U-turn. They've turned around and they've gone, you're right, the climate is actually changing. And you can kind of hear this collective sigh of relief of all the scientists going, oh, thank God. But they weren't finished. They've gone, you're right. The science is settled. The climate is changing. It's settled, so climate science is kind of completed. So now that we admit that you're right, we're going to fire the climate scientists. That's how this is done, right? That's how this shit works. And I kid you not, this actually happened. Go and look it up. They've suddenly decided it's a real thing, and so they've fired them all because they've done their job now. And so, all those readings from the Southern Hemisphere, we're not going to get those anymore. I'm not bitter. But on the other hand, it's really great that it is now in the public consciousness. And I even came across a BuzzFeed quiz the other day, which, the ones, which Disney princess? Are you more llama or alpaca? Genuine BuzzFeed quiz. What does your favourite citrus fruit say about the personality of your grandfather's dog? I don't know, but BuzzFeed does know. This one I found was, which climate phenomenon are you? Really? So I filled it in. It turns out I am the Pacific Decadal Oscillation. Yeah. So you get to the end, it's great. It gives you this whole little character description. So, apparently I'm difficult to understand. I don't really think so. Apparently I rely a little bit too much on the people closest to me. Again, I'm not sure they really have me this one. Apparently I'm characterised by temperature changes in Pacific northern latitudes. But no, I will actually give them that one. I'm not the first to say that about me. But yeah, no, I've graduated from climate change to just general air. So my job at the moment is to study air. I go in every morning, I've got my clipboard, I've got my lab coat. It's still there. Still transparent. No, I actually, I don't really have a lab coat. There's a little bit of a stereotype going around about scientists, isn't there? There's a bit of we're all terribly socially inept and we all get completely obsessed with tiny details. But the thing that I think a lot of people miss, and it frustrates me, is that the reason we get obsessed with those tiny details is because they're really brilliant. So one of my latest things was I became a little bit obsessed. I'm recovering. You'll be glad to know I'm recovering. But I did become obsessed with a statistical technique called kernel smoothing. Anyone come across kernel smoothing? Yeah. James has. James knows about kernel smoothing. Oh, you were just saluting it? Okay. No, a salute is good. You understand it's great. Anyway. It is great. It's a statistical technique to smooth your data using statistical kernels. I thought it was a beautiful technique, it was terribly elegant, and I just wanted to share my excitement with everyone around me. So I told all my friends about it, I brought it up down the pub, I put it on my online dating profile. For some reason it didn't really get many hits. I couldn't tell you actually, online dating is pretty clever these days, isn't it? Because they don't just match you up willy-nilly. They give you all of these quizzes, these questions you've got to fill in, and things like, what's your favourite book? And would you want to be the supreme ruler of all people on earth? That was a genuine one. The important questions. There was a little squeaky giggle from someone there who's definitely been on OkCupid. I've seen that question before somewhere. But yeah, no, the trouble I keep getting is I keep getting matched up with scientists. And these are the kind of people who are they do something that no one really understands. And they get really obsessive over, I don't know, like statistical techniques. And sometimes they think they're really funny. And like, they go around telling all of these sort of science-themed jokes. And we never have anything in common. And yeah, that's me. Thank you very much. You've been a fantastic week.